What's up, people? Thanks as always for passing by the channel, much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Alright, so I wanted to do a video about George Groves versus Callum Smith a few days ago. I didn't watch the fight live. I was working myself, found out about the result, which is the worst thing to do, and then watch the fight. Don't ever do that. If you're not going to watch the fight, just try and somehow switch your phone off and then watch it. I fucked up. I'm back in London, thank God. So many days of traveling, but it's nice to be back home even though it's fucking freezing outside. Anyway, alright, firstly, congratulations to Callum Smith, right? Congratulations. I didn't know he had that performance in him. It looked like he was boxed into a game plan. So look, I'm going to say it now. Congratulations to Joe Gallagher. He won a big one. I think he's lost a few big ones, and this was a big one, right? This was a big one and he won it. So congratulations to him. I'll probably do a separate video about Callum Smith and where I think he is in the 168 division. Is he number one? Possibly. He's got the ring title and that kind of indicates you are the best in the division, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's other guys out there. But again, good performance. Looked good. Looked great on the scales. And I said this, I know George Groves looks so bad on the scales, so whoever he's fighting, it makes them look doubly good. But look good on the scales. Obviously rehydrates to I do not know what. I'm guessing 180 something, which is huge, right? So he's a big guy in there and he uses all those attributes. His jab looked good. Body punches were awfully good. Power punches were good. Movement was good. He literally ticked every single box. And this is what the Smith brothers and Eddie Hearn have been talking about for a long time, which I haven't seen, and we saw it on the biggest stage. So congratulations to him. Alright, so this video is about George Groves. Should George Groves call it quits? A few people tweeted me and asked me to kind of make a video on it, and although I'm a few days late, here we go. Simple answers, I'm on the fence. I don't know. I don't know if we should call it quits. It's a tough one. You know, one thing that did shock me straight away when I was thinking about this video was George Groves' age. I don't know why. Call me crazy, but I thought George Groves was about 32, 33. I didn't know he was only 30. It feels like, and it's not just because he looks a bit old, obviously because of the receding hairline and whatever, but it's just, it feels like he's been around for ages. Ages. Obviously, you're talking about a guy that came through with that Haymaker thing and Adam Booth, and he was almost, I say, thrusted into the limelight because of David Haye. So he wasn't able to kind of come through slowly. He was almost pushed because of David Haye. So because of that, it feels like he's been around for forever, even though he only made his debut in 2008. So it has been 10 years, which is long, but it's not crazy long. I mean, you look at someone like Amir Khan, I think he made his debut in 2004 or 2005. So there are people on the British scene that have been around as long as him, if not longer. I guess when you start out your boxing career, the aim is to win world titles and make money. That must be the aim. Especially if people think there is something about you, right? He's done that. British champion, Commonwealth champion. Obviously that fight against James DeGale where he won that strap. World champion. Obviously failed, what, 3 times? Twice against Froch, once against Badou Jack. Then got over the line. He's ticked the boxes. He's won a world title. He's fought on huge bills. I mean, you don't get much bigger than George Groves, Carl Froch, Wembley. You don't get much bigger than that. Even though Joshua Klitschko done more in terms of numbers, I still think Groves Froch just felt bigger. Maybe because it was the first fight at the new Wembley. I don't know. It just felt huge. Badou Jack as well. Was that on the undercard of Mayweather? I think it was, if my memory serves me right. And obviously this Super Series. So he's done well. He must have made millions. Carl Froch rematch would have been massive amounts of money. Badou Jack wouldn't have been too bad, and getting to the final of the World Boxing Super Series wouldn't have been too bad. So in terms of a career, he's ticked all the boxes. He has ticked all the boxes. He might, and I know some people have already said this, might look and think, yes, I won a world title, but it wasn't against, I hate doing this with someone's career, especially when the career's coming to the end, but it wasn't against a marquee name, right? If he won the world title against Badou Jack, then it's just a lot bigger than winning it against Fedor Chudinov. He was that close against Carl Froch. Imagine how big George Groves would be now. And he's quite big, right? But imagine how big he would have been if he beat Carl Froch in that first fight. And he was that close, people. He would have been massive. But nonetheless, he was still a world champion. Regardless of who you win it against, he's still a world champion. But that might play on his mind a bit. You know what it is? I thought, and this is where it's tricky to talk about someone's retirement. I thought that George Groves was done after the second Carl Froch fight. And that was 2014. So I thought he was done at 26. Which, fuck now you think about it, 26. But then he was able to kind of reel off some good wins. against maybe, I think it's fair to say, mid-level guys, have that big win against Chris Eubank Jr., get into the World Boxing Super Series final, be favourite for that final, but then lose. So that's a guy that I thought was done 4 years ago. So it's difficult to say if someone's done now. The thing is, the 168 division isn't hot. The 168 division isn't hot at all. So if there was potentially big money fights, then yeah, by all means continue. If there's potentially big money fights, and look, he can make money. I'm not saying he can't still make money, but I'm talking big money where you're making millions, not hundreds of thousands, millions. Then yeah, by all means stay around. Stay around. Make your way back up again, because he can, because the 168 division isn't hot. He can, there's a route he can get again to win a world title and then have that big marquee fight that you can picture in 3 or 4 fights if you come back. There isn't that fight. Looking at it now, Gilberto Ramirez, it's not a big fight. A rematch with Chris Eubank Jr., it isn't a big fight. One IBF champion whose name I can never pronounce, Uzcategui, isn't a big fight. James DeGale rematch isn't a big fight. So there just isn't big fights to stay for. And then he obviously has a problem making weight. I think we can always see that. But then the 175 division is frightening. It's actually quite scary. And those guys at 175 not only can box, they can punch. And you really wouldn't want to see George Groves in with any of those guys. So if I'm a family member, if I'm Shane McGuigan, I probably say, look, what do you want next? Like, what do you want? And if it's to say, okay, I want a world title, then you've already done that. If it's to say, I want to make some money, you've done that as well. He's obviously, got a wife, he's got kids. There's no shame in calling it quits now. There isn't. With all your faculties in place, there's no shame. He got beat, and he got beat quite handily against Callum Smith. I don't know if the shoulder was causing him a problem. I'm not sure. I don't think it was. He just got outboxed. He got outmanned, and eventually got stopped. That will be playing in his mind. Yeah. I don't think it was a tactical thing either. I think he was trying. I think they were trying to work things out. And they did nearly work things out. I thought Callum Smith won the first 2 or 3 rounds. I thought George Groves was coming back into it. And then he just got beaten up. If I'm George Groves, I call it quits. I call it quits because I've achieved everything I set out to achieve. I've done it. I fought at Wembley Stadium. I fought in Vegas. I fought at the O2 Arena. I've headlined. I've achieved everything. I've achieved everything. And not many boxers can say that, really. You look at some of the guys that we're calling on retiring now, the likes of David Price. You can see why David Price struggles with the thought of retirement, because he hasn't achieved things that he would have set out and wanted to achieve as an Olympic bronze medalist. George Groves has. No shame in calling it quits. If he was in a hot division, like super hot, like 147 or 160, I'd say, you know what, fuck that. Have a couple warm-up fights, then go straight back in. He's not in a hot division. There's no money to be made. I mean, there is money, that's stupid, but there's not super money to be made in the division. And it's a long way back as well. If it went to points, if he hurt Callum Smith, if Callum Smith got knocked down and then he knocked down George Groves, then fair enough. When you get stopped like that, it's a long way back. And I just don't think he's got it in him to come back.